Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to my spoiler-free review of Across the Spider-Verse, the sequel to the amazingly awesome Into the Spider-Verse. Now, I would love to say the amazingly successful, but the first one didn't do well at the box office. But fair play, and it's very rare that I give praise to Sony. Fair play for taking a risk and greenlighting a sequel, because it's projected to be making to do really, really well at the box office, which is great to hear, because anyone that watched the first one absolutely loved it. I'm one of them. Again, I'm one of those people that prefers animation to live action, just because there's more. I find, you know, if you're given the right people backing you, the creative freedom you have, and you could do more with animation, and just love it. So the second one is just takes place just over a year after the events of the first film, and in it we just have Miles kind of going about his day-to-day life. He's, you know, although he's a sophomore, I think it's like 15 in the film, he's, you know, trying to work towards going to university, and he's trying to balance the life of being a vigilante and trying to be, you know, a good kid to his parents. And there's like this conflict with the parents as well, because, you know, he's constantly disappearing, he's constantly off doing things, he's not around. And so there's always that kind of pressure of life balance that you get often in a lot of Spider-Man films, and they do it really, really well here. And I think that they find a great balance with it in showcasing parental angst as well. It's not like just you get one scene with a parent that says a little something and then that's it. No, you get nice. You get to kind of see a lot more of what the parents go through. You know, the relationship between Miles's mother and father is brilliantly done, brilliantly written. Like, you kind of see things from their perspective. Also, you know, we get to see a bit more of Gwen Stacy's world and what she's going through, and you get this wonderful. See, what I loved about this film. You might think, okay, it's a bit of a slow start, but I loved that slow start, because what that slow start gave you was great character development. It gives you a little bit of look into Gwen's world, and then it moves on into Miles's world. But the teen angst is done there. Like, we've all been through there, you know, having that somebody special you connect with, and you miss them and you want them back in your life, but circumstances are very different. Okay, this one is because of a multiverse, but if you live where I live, you know, it's the cultural backgrounds and things like that make it difficult to kind of come together with somebody you really, really care for. So, and then they get that, and they do that really, really well in this. And I think it's just so important amongst all the action that you have to develop your characters more. And they get this so right in this. And that was actually my favourite part of the film, was how really well they did Gwen and Miles Morales, and you know, some of the other Spider-Men. I'm not spoiling anything, because, you know, it's a multiverse of Spider-Man. But how well they do all the different Spider-Men that are in the spotlight. Some done for comedic value, some done for, you know, understanding their purpose of why they're doing what they're doing. And is it Lord and Miller? I think it's Lord and Miller. Forgive me if I get them wrong, but their writing is just so damn good. And before you get into all the action and into the plot, getting that part right, it was just so important. And that's what made this film better than the first one. And then we get into the plot, which is, I don't know if the villain's been revealed, so I won't mention it. But he's an obscure villain from the comic books, and they kind of put him into the spotlight. But he is so perfectly executed as well. How he progresses and grows, and how the plot behind the villain it just makes so much sense, and the kind of consequences. There's consequences to Spider-Man's actions that lead the villain down the path that they go, which starts off the whole sequence of activating, getting other spider men and women and animals, spider folk and Thang involved in this. And along the way, again, it's not really spoilers. You get to see different Spider-Man, Spider-Women, and spider things, and we get introduced to a couple of beautiful universes that are really enjoyable. There's like one Spider universe which is just like I can't explain it. I don't want to spoil anything because I hate being that kind of person, but they do it really, really well, and something happens in there that has consequences that then triggers a secondary plot to the whole film, and I never saw that coming. And then you get this massive reveal along the way because of that, and you just get this whole new dimension that comes into the film, and you're like, holy crap, just when you thought you had this linear path of this thing happens, they must stop the bad guy, that's it branches off and you get a whole other thing, and it's just like, no, this is why it's so long, and it's all perfectly paced. When it's funny, it's really funny. When it's sad, and when it's touching, it's very touching, and you just love every character in this. It's not a character you sit there and just go, oh, I'll get them off the screen. You just love every character in there. And when they go multiversal, they really go multiversal. Like, you see things that you're like, oh wow. And that's the best way I could describe this, because to say that there's a big action set piece at the end and all this kind of stuff will do it an injustice, because it takes away of what happens throughout the whole film. And all I can say is I don't think I will see a better film this year, and it's easily one of the best superhero films I've ever seen, and most definitely my favourite Spider-Man film that I've ever seen. And I'm somebody who absolutely loves the Tom Holland trilogy, but this has surpassed them. It was just so good, and that's the best I could do without spoiling anything. All I could say is, and the animation style and the variety of animations, including the different Spider-Men. They're not all stuck with one style. They're just so many different styles, and like the labour that must have gone into making this film is incredible. It's not just a soulless sequel churned out to cash in on the popularity of the previous one. They put a lot of heart and soul in it. You can see why it was delayed, because it did have a couple of delays. Obviously, COVID didn't help. But, the fact that we got this just incredible masterpiece, this absolutely flawless film, just tells me that Lucasfilms really screwed Lord and Miller. I'm sure it's Lord and Miller. I'm sorry if I get them wrong. With their solo film, though I don't know if they were the right person for that character, but they should have been given a Star Wars project. That being said, they are the undisputed kings of animation of the 2010s and 2020s so far, and this is coming from where you have Amazon and Netflix, who are doing phenomenal animations. And yet these guys are coming in with popular franchises and doing a phenomenal job with it. And I can't recommend this film. I'm actually going to go and see this again because I just love it. And I'm going to go with my brother to go watch it. And yeah, I'm sure I'll love it even more the second time round. And that is all. Go watch it. Final marks. Oh, comfortably 11 out of 10. That's how much I love this film. Go watch it. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.